Women will forever test you. It is in their biology to make sure they are with the right man. How you react to each test determines if you end up losing the girl or actually just building more attraction. In this video, I'll be going over the 3 sneaky ways a woman will test your confidence. Make sure to watch to the end because if you fail the final one, you will lose the girl. Point number 1 is mentioning other men indirectly. This one will typically happen in the early dating stages of talking to a woman. You guys might be hanging out on your second, third date or something, and at some point, she's going to bring up another man. This will be done very indirectly. She most likely isn't going to tell you straight to your face, hey, by the way, I'm talking to other men, or hey, by the way, I'm having sex with other men. Women aren't as direct. Instead, they will indirectly state these things. It might go something like this. Oh, how was your weekend? Oh, mine was good. We were at this party and my friends Jessica and Daniel was there too, blah, 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 but then we did XYZ. If you respond with, oh, who's Daniel? Then you failed the test because it's too early to want to assert yourself into her life this way. That would just show neediness and insecurity on your part. Instead, the way you want to react is by simply acting like she never even said that name. You just continue with the conversation as if nothing happened. You don't show insecurity, you don't show neediness, you don't show too much curiosity around who she hangs out with. You just stay cool and realize at the back of your mind that Daniel dude, he is nothing like you. What's very ironic about this is to that Daniel dude, she probably will mention you. This is probably something she will do. She will mention other men to the other men she is talking to or around. And whoever is reacting the most, that dude, he's not getting it. If you really think about what got you to pass this test, is simply just not being reactive. It is very attractive to a woman to be emotionally non-reactive and to have a very strong center. That becomes especially true into the next point, which is point number 2, she pulls away. Now, this test can actually happen in the initial interaction. It could happen on the first date. It could happen throughout the texting interactions. Honestly, this can happen in so many different ways, sometimes more subtle than others, throughout the entire phase of the relationship. This is usually done subconsciously, which by the way, there's a common theme between all points, which is girls do all these tests subconsciously. Most of the time, they're not consciously trying to test you. Women aren't consciously manipulated. Instead, it's just an instinct they have to do these things to weed out weak men. An example of a girl pulling back could be you guys are texting every day. The texts are great, everything's awesome, she's responding at the right time, and then one day, one dreadful day, she just doesn't text you back regularly. Instead, her texts become more dry or she just takes longer to respond. What you do not want to do in this moment is to start texting the girl more. This brings up a story I had with this girl I met in college. We had a great first date and honestly, I thought she was cool. I wasn't that into her, but I did want to see her again. And what ended up happening is on the second date, she flaked and then she started responding less. So essentially she pulled back. And since this was before I knew what I knew now, I failed the test. I started to text her more. I thought if she's more dry, that means I need to be more fun. That is the wrong way to think about it. That's coming from a place of lack. That's coming from a place of you feeling inferior to her. I actually remember one day texting her something like, hey, I really had a great time with you the other day. I'm super down to have dinner, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Even though this girl left me on red right before. I'm out here talking about dinner. I'm out here talking about how amazing I had a great time on the first date. And guess what happened? She read that, it was actually a Snapchat. She read the Snapchat text and she never responded. What I should have done to pass this test would be to be non-reactive. So if a girl is texting you a lot and then one day she texts you less, you simply have to text her less. This doesn't mean you become petty and she responds in 1 hour and then you do exactly 1 hour. But what this does mean is you don't start texting all excited as if she's not being boring herself. And if a girl is on red, you don't immediately text her back. Give it at least 24 to 48 hours. That's a texting example, but a girl can pull back in many different ways. It could even be in the initial interaction. So for example, let's say you're talking to a girl at a bar and the conversation is going great, you guys are having a good time, and then out of nowhere, she just randomly walks away. This is very common and it would happen to me all the time. It actually became so common that I started to expect these moments. Sometimes a girl wouldn't blatantly walk away, but what a girl will do is eventually she'll take her attention away from you. It could be to talk to her friend, it could be to walk away, it could be to do something else. Point is, she's gonna withdraw her attention. And in that moment, you can't just become so needy and just go following her wherever she goes. Instead, let her be. You need to occupy yourself, which means you can't just stand around and look at her either. You need to go talk to somebody. You need to go do something. A man who has so much time on his hands is never attractive. And that would be how you pass the test. If she talks to her friends, you talk talk to the person next to you, you stay a social person, and eventually you reopen her as if nothing happened. And that is the attitude you want to take throughout the entire time a girl will test you. Testing your masculine frame in a relationship. So after the interaction, after the dating phase, a girl will continually test you. And if you break, you will lose her. Have you ever had a friend who ended up having a girlfriend? And before this girlfriend, he was in shape, he was going to the gym, he was talking to a lot of people, he was making a certain amount of money, he groomed himself a certain way. But over time with this girl, his life just started to fall apart. This is very common, and the reason this happens is because the man loses his frame in the relationship. He allows himself to get too comfortable with his girlfriend. What's very interesting here is that men might blame the women for trying to make more men soft, but it's not the woman's fault, it's actually the man. Because it is natural that your woman, your girlfriend, will probably not be as masculine as you. She probably won't want to go to the gym as much as you. She probably won't want to be working as much as you. In most cases, women will want to have more fun than you do. And this is normal, this is the way things are. What you can't do as a man is all of a sudden become like her, because the girl got attracted to you as a man in the first place. So if you follow her lead, she's gonna lose the attraction. Instead, you need to hold frame and stay true to whatever your purpose is. Whether that's the gym, whether it's the money you make, whether it's the idea of just looking good no matter what. An example of this is my own life. When I was 18, I started dating my high school sweetheart. And I remember at that age, I was at my peak physically, my finances were good, I was even doing very well in school. Everything was going amazing. But what ended up happening is as me and this girl dated over a span of a few years, I lost my muscle, my looks got worse. I started to spend too much time with her and not enough time working on myself. I essentially followed her lead. And I actually started to grow resentment towards her. I didn't even know why I was unhappy with her, but now in hindsight, I get it. What I want you guys to know is you can totally have a relationship and still grow as a man. You just have to have non-negotiables about your life and keep those intact throughout the relationship. So if you need to work a certain amount of hours, but she wants to hang out even more, you have to be able to pass that test. The way you fail it is you follow her lead. The way you pass it is you set a frame. And you do this confidently, not in a confrontational way. It comes from a place of expressing your values and purpose in life. And in the worst case scenario, if you have some non-negotiables and your girl doesn't support that, then she isn't the girl for you. But most of the times, if attraction is in place, a girl will follow your lead and support your vision. If you really like this video and you really want to level up in dating and self-development, link in my description to work with me one-on-one. Have a great day, everyone. Peace out.